It's a team sport. Cannabis is a team sport. Don't forget that. You can't do this all on your own. Hey everyone, my name is Jim Brees from GreenGrowth CPAs, and I'm here with
Alan Lau.
And we are going to talk about all things cannabis, just kind of a very open-ended conversation about all things to discuss and just chat and give you a little color and context to the industry, where it's going, where the opportunities are, and everything in between. So.
Yeah, thank you, Jim. Yeah, my name is Alan Lau, part of GreenGrowth CPAs. Glad to be here. Today's topic is really just to talk about cannabis. Like Jim was talking about, where we are today, where we like to go, where do we see this industry going? A lot of hype that's going on in the media, a lot of hype on CNBC, but a lot of money are being made.
Yes.
But where is it? And how do we handle cash?
Yeah.
Let's talk about cash.
Let's hop right into it, yeah.
A lot of my entrepreneurs that own businesses, a lot of them came from black market onto licensed market, and they all have one main question. What is the remedy for cash handling in this business?
Yeah, so cash handling is a big thing. So there's the Safe Banking Act. It's got a lot of support made through the House of Representatives. It's making its way through the Senate right now. Maybe by the time this video comes out, it's already passed. Hopefully that happens. But the issue is yet no access to banking because it's a Schedule I controlled substance. Now, if you move to the side of like, all right, well, what do we do now? Most people are just keeping this in safes, like drop safes, big safes at their houses or at a secured location, and sometimes many safes, because it's not like 500 grand. We're talking 5 million, $10 million. Some people have been in this industry, like in the illicit market for 15 years. You can make a lot of bucks in 15 years, right? So that's kind of what they're doing, is they're keeping it in safes, cash handling procedures, and then some banks are actually taking the risk and rolling the dice and saying, hey, we'll take this money on. So it's usually local credit unions that are doing that.
Local credit unions. Yeah, because it's still federally illegal.
Yeah.
So any federal banks, institutions will not condone.
They don't want to risk their. If they have like $20 million in assets, or $20 billion in assets under management, they're not going to take your 60 grand in cannabis money. It's not worth it. It's a drop in the bucket that could potentially lose their license.
Charter banks is one of the topic on the bill, where will California have a state charter bank to handle some of not just cash handling. When we're talking about an operation of the business, there's many different components to it. I mean, from a banking system standpoint, there's liabilities, loans. We can talk about insurance. We can talk about checking savings account.
Yeah.
We can talk about merchant service. So the list goes on in terms of banking services that is available to enhance business operation and make it easier for business owners to handle the finances.
That's it, yeah. So we'll see how this all shakes out. Hopefully that the cash thing can get handled, because it poses a huge risk too, right? People know that they're sitting ducks, and people know, right? There's these things called green zones. We know where all the cannabis companies are at. We know all their addresses. We know all the people. And I say we, and not just the operators like ourselves, but everybody in the community has access to this information. So it makes everybody like a sitting duck. So the faster we move along banking, the more legit we can make this market. And people can buy with confidence with their debit card. You can start to ramp up delivery.
Correct.
Right? Because if you have to do cash on cash, it's just like running a weed service on a website now. So
exactly.
It's
faster payment, efficiency, bookkeeping, it becomes more transparent.
Yeah, bookkeeping becomes more transparent for sure.
Awesome. Recently, there's a lot of headline news that is out there talking about the negative health reports in regards to vape.
Yeah.
We understand that vape market has an emerging type of market where it captures a lot of people, it even captures audience more into maybe the older people that's utilizing cannabis, or maybe females, or more discreet people that are utilize the plant as a medicine. Walk us through, some clarity about the report, because I know people read something and they don't read the details or not understand. They're just like, oh man, this is bad.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit more about these reports about health issues. I hear that these people are buying at illicit stores that are not legal.
So there's so many layers to unpack from this. So to start out, yes, vape is like the trend. People want something inconspicuous they can travel with, or they can go out to the restaurant with. They don't want to smell like cannabis when they walk around. They don't want to smell like a weed plant. Totally get that. Now, why did this happen? Few reasons why this happens. And we don't know exactly, are these people using just nicotine, THC, CBD, a combination of both, or something in between. But what's happening is that there is testing in the legit cannabis business, in the legit cannabis market. But if you don't allow people easy access as a manufacturer to get a license to do all this stuff and have to hit these requirements, they're going to stay on the edge of the whole business, and they're going to use whatever cheap ingredients. They're not going to be, ISO certified in their manufacturing. So that opens them up to a bunch of issues, and there's not a lot of education around this manufacturing as well. It's kind of like, if you get into cannabis, it's kind of cliquey, and like all the knowledge stays kind of between just someone's chest. Right. They don't want to share that. But when you start to get someone and say, hey, I've got, $500,000, I want to start a manufacturing thing, they start doing it, they get some wrong information, they put an additive in there, and when not heated up, it's fine, like a vitamin E, and then they add that in, it becomes volatile, it becomes toxic, it becomes carcinogenic. And then, so that's one part of it. There's just no clarity in the manufacturing process, people don't know what they're doing. And then you get to the point where a lot of people are headline readers. So I think we're up to 7 people that have passed away, and, I'm very sad to see that and to hear that this is happening. How can we bring more clarity to what's actually in the products? If people knew what was in these products, they would make better choices. If they knew where to find legit products and how to spot a legit product from an illicit product, they may make better choices. I think the education is missing around this as well.
Education, I would say that's a huge part. The testing is paramount to what we're putting out there, right?
Yeah.
So ultimately, these businesses don't want to fold because of a testing not passing.
And it's not like it's expensive to test. It's just that it's another step. But if I'm an illicit person, I can't, always will get my stuff tested. Maybe I might get scared my business gets shut down. Even though I'm doing everything else on the up and up, I just don't have a license. But that's where it kind of gets gray, and it's like, you can very easily take a stance and say, no, you have to be licensed. And I agree with that. You should be licensed.
100%.
Because you have to go through all the checks, right? You don't want, Trapper Joe over here making up your stuff in his bedroom or in his kitchen, his regular home kitchen. That's why when you come to GreenGrowth CPAs, you can work in this big facility we have, be licensed, get tested, and you can get started right away. You don't have to go through the whole entire licensing process. So, shameless plug there for our building, but that's the importance of this industry. And I want to address one thing. People say it's very expensive to get started. Yes, it is, because we're not just starting a corner store. You're starting a pharmacy if you're doing a dispensary. You're starting a pharmaceutical manufacturing if you're getting into the vaporizer pens or the pills or the edibles. There's a lot of regulation and red tape to protect the consumer and to protect the business owner. This is not, let's just all run and make a bunch of money. We're embarking on the 6th most important crop to human history. You have coffee, sugar, alcohol, all these different things. Cannabis is that wave for us. This generation's wave is cannabis. So we have to be very smart about what we're doing, how we're approaching it, and don't let it sensationalized. There's a lot of headline readers out there. It's very easy to grab on a headline. That story matures over 6 to 7 to 8 weeks. It's not the same as it was in the beginning because, look, media outlets are there to sell ad space. They're there to sensationalize things. And I'm not saying what they're saying is wrong, but just dig deeper. If you're very passionate about this stuff, look into it a little bit more. Read past the first paragraph. Read past the, first article you read. Read 7, 8, 9, 10 different articles. Triangulate an opinion and be thoughtful about how you're approaching this, because if we allow too much propaganda to run rampant, we are putting our industry at huge risk.
Correct.
Right? Just to have something to talk about.
A lot of people are talking about, hey, should we allow a cannabis operator to be entering into our community? So one of the questions that a lot of people have is, what economic impact will cannabis provide to the municipalities, to the counties? Where are these taxes that or revenue going directly to our ledger? Where is it going?
Right. So the big thing of how cannabis can impact communities is through the taxes. As you know, throughout every part of the entire supply chain, there's a lot of taxes, a lot of hands. And that's a good thing, because this taxes in most municipalities are supposed to be going to education, to infrastructure improvements, and things along those lines. And so there's a few problems. If we don't have a good banking system, we can't make sure that the numbers are bulletproof. And so when you start to go report taxes, it's all self-reporting. So as a cannabis company, you're like, oh yeah, that's great. We made $750,000 when they really brought in $1.25 million. So that the cities are not capturing that tax. So there's going to be a point when the cities start to actually do audits, and they're going to really peel back the layers of the onion and see, oh my goodness, we are totally missing out on this money. So the state of California was supposed to get in like $1 billion in tax revenue this past year. They only collected like $370 million. Whatever. At any rate, they collected 33% or 38% of what they wanted to collect, and that's because of the self-reporting. If we have to have banking, we have to have some kind of audit structure to keep all the businesses on the up and up. Every other business has access to banking, and without that infrastructure, we have no way to audit and make sure that the right amount of taxes are being collected.
Yeah, I highly agree with the infrastructure part. Banking is the backbone.
Yeah.
And the financials is the backbone of a business. So.
Yeah, and you know, Colorado has so much money, they're repairing roads that don't even need to be repaired right now. So it's like, if you do this right and be very thoughtful and be very strict, like just because it's cannabis and weed and free love, and don't let all that stuff cloud it up. This is a real business. This is not just like, you know, a gold rush. This is gonna be around for a very, very long time. So set those steps out so that we can actually allow this industry to mature in a thoughtful way, not just be so excited, it goes up and then it capitulates, it falls to nothing, and then we're left with like, well, told you it was gonna be crap. We need to be thoughtful about this.
And it makes the importance of understanding how you keep track of your AR, AP, your books.
Yeah.
Having GreenGrowth CPAs as your compliance oversight. So in the event, if you do get audited, you have a peace of mind knowing that we're here to back you up and we have all the documentation to provide. And I think that's one of the biggest things is I always like to work with people that are smarter than me, people building a team around yourself. So don't think that you have to do everything with your own pair of hands, because seeking for great advice is very important in this business.
Yeah, I mean, it's some empirical evidence coming out of Colorado. 1 in 5 cannabis businesses are going to be audited at some level of the government. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's compare that to an ordinary business. It's about 1%. So almost 20 times, 15 times more likely that you're going to get audited. So cash crimes are the new drug crimes. It's not that you're going to get in trouble for having weed or having cannabis. You're going to get in trouble for not staying financially compliant in your taxes, in your licensing, and all the things along the way that are what we call the red tape or the barriers, but they're there to keep things safe. So you have to have good, strict cash control policies. Mm-hmm. Make sure you have bulletproof accounting, bookkeeping, because it will come back to bite you. So this is how an audit, let me just tell you typically how the audits work that we've seen, that we've been a part of, and been able to sit on the sideline or be actively in the game. So say it's 2019, you get a letter in the mail, say, hey, we're auditing. Whoop, a little phone call there. So say you're getting audited by the IRS. They're not gonna just come back and look at your 2018 books. They're gonna come back and look at your 2017 books, your 2016 books, and 15. When they're gonna go all the way back to 15, what they're gonna say is like, hey, you're missing some receipts for some expenses that you claimed. We're just gonna disallow everything. And they're gonna tax you on that top level here, that top line. And then from there, they're gonna assess penalties, fees, and fines, and interest, and it's gonna compound, and then they're gonna do the same thing for 16, and 17, and 18, and it's gonna kill your business. You're gonna have nothing left after the IRS comes and guts your business. So that's why it's important, especially if you're in your first, second, or third year right now, really, really be thoughtful about where you're spending your investment money, mm-hmm. and put some of that money into financial controls and really, really protecting yourself against an audit. It's not the worst thing in the world if you're ready for it.
Yeah. In my previous career, risk management is really important. And I would say this lies right into risk mitigation and risk management for the business. So having a specialty partner, professionals, yeah. It really gives you more time back in your day to be an entrepreneur, to grow the business, leave the financial compliance oversight to professionals like us. Yeah,
you want to grow your business. You don't want to deal with the numbers and this and that. That's what you pay like a lawyer for. That's what you pay a CPA for. That's why you need experts. It's a team. It's a team sport. Cannabis is a team sport. Don't forget that. You can't do this all on your own. Yep. It's a team sport.
Good.
So, yeah, man. But yeah, so that's been pretty much what we want to discuss today. Anything else you want to chat about?
No. Love to chat more with you guys out there in the world. Thank you for taking the time and hearing about our cannabis dialogue.
Yeah, our cannabis information going on here. Yeah, if you need any more information or help about starting your cannabis company, keeping it compliant, need help with anything that has to do with numbers or licensing, please reach out to us at greengrowthcpas.com or give us a call at 800-674-9050. Have a great day and we'll talk to you soon.
Have a good day, everybody.